Hey everybody, I want to talk to you today about past grow-ups. At the Mortgage Center we've been taking a lot of calls. In our area in BC, every house sooner or later seems like it's going to have been a former grow-up. So what do you need to do if you're thinking of buying them? First, if you're looking at the price and you're thinking this is a fantastic deal, there's probably a reason. Read the property condition disclosure statement, which is something that the selling agent is to provide you. It's a very long list of is the property connected to sanitary, is the property connected to sewage, has it been a former grow-up, has it been a former meth lab, all these type of questions are on the property condition disclosure statement. The selling realtor will give it to you, and look on there, see what they've said. If they've said no, but you go there and the place has been completely gutted and there's no tenant, it might be time to ask some questions, perhaps have your inspector look around. It's just something that you see from time to time. But now if they do disclose it and they tell you, yes, it was a former grow-up, but the grow-up was confined to the shed or confined to one room in the basement, to any bank looking at that, A, there's no way to prove it. B, who cares where it was confined to? The type of damage the banks are concerned about are structural, chemical, and air quality. So how do we make the banks happy? Well, first off, a lot of banks just won't do them, period. Former grow-up, it says that, it dies in their court. An example of this is Scotiabank. On the flip side of that, some of the smaller credit unions, Westminster, Coast Capital, these guys, they will do the former grow-ups, but they're going to insist on a slightly higher level of underwriting. So what I mean by that is they're going to look much harder at that property to make sure it's still solid. For certain, they're going to want a full appraisal. That's number one. Okay. Number two, some of them, most of them, are going to want a phase 1 environmental study. It's simply air quality testing. So what they do is they go in, they take a sample of air from the outside, a sample of air from the room that had no grow-up in it, and a sample of air from the room that had the grow-up. As long as there's not mold or contaminants found in those samples, and typically there isn't, unless it was a massive operation where they smacked out the walls and had chemicals running all over the place and had high humidity and water and mold. If that's not the case, if it was just confined, especially if it was confined to the shed or confined to one single room, it's not going to be a problem. The thing is, you are going to have to pay for that, the buyer. And it's probably going to take you, 5 days to get that put together. So if you're looking to buy a former grow-up, first, get an extended subject removal period. You're going to need more time to get the paperwork put together. If it's a good deal, there's probably a reason for it. Second, know which lender you're dealing with. Don't think you can just walk into your bank and get approved for it. Some of the other banks, CIBC for example, will require a phase 2 environmental, which includes drywall testing and material testing to make sure that there isn't mold within the walls, within the ceiling and all this. It's much more extensive. It takes generally 10 days to get the results back. There's a couple places that'll do it faster if you pay them, but nobody does it overnight. So if you're thinking of buying a former grow-up, come talk to me. It's Roland Smith from the Mortgage Center. I've done these a ton of times, I have a lot of experience, and I can help guide you and avoid the heartache of finding something which is so cheap and so perfect, but you can't get a mortgage against it. Until next time.